So 19, 20, and 21, again, we're simplifying a radical. You want the radical by itself, which it is, but when you square both sides, you're squaring the entire side. So you can't just square the x and square the -2. You have to FOIL it out. So when you square your square root, you get 32 minus x. But on this side, if I FOIL that out, I'm going to get x squared. I'm going to get a -2x and another -2x, which is -4x. And then a -2 times a -2 is a +4. So we end up with a quadratic expression. We want to set it equal to 0 and solve that. So I am going to subtract my 32 and add my x. So I get x squared minus 3x minus 28. And then solve by factoring. X and x, plus and a minus. Factors of 28, 4 and 7. I'd have to have a -7 and a +4 in order to get -3 in the middle. So if x plus 4 equals 0, that's going to give me a -4 answer. If x minus 7 equals 0, it gives me a +7 answer. Again, you have to go back and check those answers because sometimes you get extraneous solutions. So if I put the -4 in, 32 minus a -4 is 36. The square root of 36 is 6. -4 plus -2 is -6. Well, 6 doesn't equal -6. That answer doesn't check. So then I'm going to try the 7. So 32 minus 7 is 25. The square root of 25 is 5. And 7 minus 2 is also 5. That one's going to check, so on this one, we're just going to count the one answer, x equals 7. Number 20, same kind of thing. The square root is already by itself. I'm going to square both sides, so FOILing that out, I would get w squared plus 2w's plus 1. And if you need to, write down w plus 1 plus w plus, or times w plus 1 and FOIL it all the way out. Squaring the square root cancels that out. So 28 minus 4w. Again, I want to set it equal to 0. I want my w squared to be positive. So I'm going to minus my 28 and add my 4w. So w squared plus 6w minus 27 equals 0. So w and w, negative and a negative, factors of 27 that add up to 6. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. The end is negative. I'm losing my mind here. Okay. The end is negative. I should have a positive and a negative. I was trying to figure out how I was going to add up to 6 with two negatives. It won't work that way, will it? But it will if I use the right signs. So a positive times a negative is a negative. 9 times 3 is 27. Positive 9 minus 3 gives me plus 6. So if w plus 9 equals 0, I'm going to get a negative 9 answer. If w minus 3 equals 0, I get a positive 3 answer. And again, if I check these, negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. Negative 4 times negative 9 is 36. 36 plus 28 is 64, and the square root of 64 is a positive 8, not a negative 8. So the negative answer isn't going to check. 3 plus 1 is 4. Negative 4 times 3 is minus 12. 28 minus 12 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. So the only answer on this one that works is the 3. And if we do number 21, let me move the board up here. I'm going to solve that. Again, I'm going to square both sides. So y squared minus 6y plus 9 is what I get if I FOIL that out. is going to equal 3y minus 11. So I'm going to minus my 3y and add my 11. So y squared minus 9y plus 20 equals 0. So y minus 5 and y minus 4 would give me a minus 9 in the middle. Which means if y minus 5 equals 0, I get 5 for my answer. If y minus 4 equals 0, I get 4 for my answer. So checking those. 5 minus 3 is 2. Here I would get 15 minus 11, which is 4, and the square root of 4 equals 2, so the 5 works. 4 minus 3 is 1. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 11 is 1. The square root of 1 is still equal to 1. So in this case, both of my numbers check and are okay. Have you seen? The positive ones work, the negative ones haven't worked.